Don't you hate it when you enter a new building or business and there's an extremely long cutscene that you can't skip? Yeah, it sucks. And so do the rest of these 15 things that all GTA Online players hate. So sticking with the first point, the unskippable cutscenes. So when you buy a new business, there's always a cutscene, which is super duper long. And honestly, this is so annoying because when you buy a new business, the first thing you want to do is try it out, figure out if it's going to be a good one. But then having these cutscenes is so it's just so annoying. And it's so easy to fix as well. Rockstar could just give us a button which says skip cutscene. Let us press it and it'll skip to the end of the cutscene. Next up is character interaction. So what I mean by this is how our character acts around objects or how he does things, It's like when he tries to press a button, how he glitches out. Or when he sits down, he has to look around, move his chair, crack his knuckles just to type on the keyboard. Honestly, this is just an inconvenience which I don't see the point of, to be honest. Next up, we have cooldowns. I'm mainly talking about the one after spawning cars with your mechanic. So let's say you spawn a car and you somehow die. You always have to wait an extra minute and 30 seconds to spawn another car, which is so pointless and so annoying. Unless there's some behind the scenes information I don't know. This is just a complete hindrance to basically everyone. Number 4 is not having a good filter system. So to explain this one, I'm going to use buying clothes as an example. So the UI for buying clothes is just one big list which takes 2 years to scroll through. So having something like a filter system based off the most basic things such as style or something like that would just make the UI seem so much more clean, and it'd be so much easier to navigate and find specific items. Number 5 is not being able to change the colors of stripes and liveries on your cars. So with some cars, you have liveries which are stripes like this, but see how it says white stripes? Instead of just being stripes and letting you change the color however you want, there are fixed colors which you have to choose from, meaning there are some colors which aren't even there. Have you ever seen a car with green stripes before? A simple fix for this one would be to just add a new section on the respray area for liveries or decals. Number 6, not being able to spawn your car even though you're on a road. This one's really annoying because it happens to me a lot for some reason. So look, in this clip, you can see I'm clearly on a road. But if I go to my interaction menu and try to spawn a car, I can't for whatever reason. Next up is not having a quick way to put on night vision goggles or bike helmets. Now on PC, I'm pretty sure you can press F11 or hold it down. And on controller, I'm not sure if there's a way actually, but this is still inconvenient. I mean, pressing F11, it's so far from WASD and it's far from my right hand, which is on my mouse. The agency having 2 floors. This is not too much of a big problem. It's just a huge time waster. So when you enter your agency, you have to go up the stairs. You have to go past your office and then up those stairs to go to the place where you sleep, the place with your armory and all that, even though there's a lift on that floor. So why can't you choose which floor you want to go on when you enter the building? So instead of having these options like exit to roof, exit to ground, you should have floor 1 as another option, which sends you up to your living quarters. I just feel I've spent so much time running all the way to the top of my agency to go to the armory or something, when this feels like a pretty simple fix. Not being able to customize stock wheels. So when you buy a car, it comes with specific wheels which you can't get on any other cars. But for some reason, which is never explained like most of these, you can't change anything about these wheels, which includes very simple things like the color. So you're stuck with your wheels looking like this, which 9 times out of 10 doesn't fit the build you're trying to go for. Number 10 is having to aim while using a flashlight. So as you can see, it's completely pitch black, and the only way I can see is by turning on my flashlight. So why isn't there a button to turn on a flashlight? How H on mouse and keyboard is the button to turn on your headlights. That should be the same for flashlights, so I can walk at a normal speed while having lights. Number 11 is clothes that don't work with each other. So by this, I mean when you try on certain clothes and this notice comes up saying these clothes aren't compatible. Also, another point I could mention with this one is this mask which I put on, which removes basically all of my clothes because it's not compatible with what I'm wearing. Number 12, not being able to upgrade MC sell vehicles. So normally when you sell using the MC business, you have to use some garbage vehicle, metaphorically and literally. So not being able to buy upgrades for these vehicles is something I do not understand, because these vehicles are quite literally the bottom of the barrel garbage. And it's not like Rockstar can't do this, because there's an option that they have with CEO vehicles. Number 14 is having to move cars manually between garages. This problem is really bad because I have the Eclipse Boulevard garage, which means I don't just have to move them between garages, levels, but I have to move them between levels in the garage. And just to rub salt in the wound and make it even worse, I can't choose which floor in this garage I spawn in, which is really annoying because all of my good cars are on floor number 3 and I can't be bothered to move them all to floor number 1, which is where I spawn. The last thing is not being able to have an aircraft out at the same time as a car, because the aircraft counts as a personal vehicle. So if I ever want to spawn my Raiju, I'm gonna have to despawn my actual car and spawn the Raiju in after, which is really annoying because sometimes my jet spawns really far away, and to get to it, I'm gonna have to steal a civilian's car. So unless I'm on the jet spawn, which like 9 times out of 10 I'm not, I'm gonna have to take a civilian's car and drive there myself. And with that, the list is over. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and like always, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.